I am going to recreate Grune's email design from scratch using Claude. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to do the same for any brand you like, including your own. I will show you 3 things. 1, how to build a brand kit so Claude knows your style. 2, how to create email campaigns inside of Claude Design. And lastly, how to then import those emails into either Drip or Klaviyo or whatever email platform you use. All right, let's get started. So for us to be able to actually access Claude Design, what you need to do is open Claude in your browser, as you can see I've done on the screen here. Then on the left-hand side, you want to click where it says Design. This is going to open up Claude Design for you. Inside of Claude Design, you have a bunch of different things you can do. You can either just jump right into it and create either a wireframe or a high fidelity design. You can see all your previous designs by clicking your designs. You can see examples of what other people have created and the prompts they actually use to create all the different things. And then lastly, you can go in and build your own design system. We're going to start here because what we want to do is create a design system that Claude can follow so that every time it creates something, it's on brand to us. To do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Create right here. This is going to open up the design system builder. The first thing we need to add is a company name and blurb. So I'm just going to add that in for Grunes right here. One thing I really recommend is making this not too long, but just the most important information about you. And then I would recommend to add in a URL because I have had better results doing this than just writing the name. Then you need to give Claude some examples of what your design looks like. And you can do this in a bunch of different ways. You can either upload a GitHub repo if you have that. You can also just upload the code directly from your computer. You can upload Figma files if you have either designed your landing pages or homepage in Figma or previous emails you've designed. You already have them in Figma. You can upload those. And then, of course, you can upload your fonts, logos, and assets. Because I don't have access to all of these things for Grunes, what I've done is I've just created a small folder here where I'm going to upload some assets from that. So I'm just going to add in all of these files to Claude. Then you can add other notes here. This is up to you, but I'm just going to click continue and generate. This can take a couple of minutes as Claude says here. So I'm just going to click generate and then come back to you as soon as it's done. After 5 to 10 minutes, Claude will be done creating your design system, as you can see on the screen here. And what you want to do now is actually go in and review the draft that Claude has designed for you. So you have to go in and then either click it looks good or it needs work. I can see, for example, here that it has some issue with some of the icons, so I need to go in and update that. Otherwise, everything looks good, so I'm just going to click it looks good on them right here. Then you can also go to the top right here and click design files. And here you can then go in and see all the assets, the components, and all the stuff. You can see the style sheets and the skills it created for this design system. It's very, very important that you spend as much time as possible on this step. You're only creating this system once, so the more time you spend fine-tuning and making sure that everything is correct, the better the end result and the less time you will spend on the back and forth with Claude on the other side when you actually just want to design your emails. I am now done fine-tuning my design. As you can see here, we fixed the icons and everything looks good, and I improved everything. So now we're actually ready to go in and design our email. To do this, all you have to do is actually just click up here. Then you get back to the home screen. Over here where it says new prototype, you're going to type in a project name. This could be email design. Then you can see that it's already selected my design system. If it hasn't selected yours, you're just going to go in and select the design system that you just created. Then down here you have 2 options. We can either create a wireframe or a high fidelity design. In this case, we're going to choose high fidelity since we want this email to be able to be uploaded to our email platform afterwards. So we're going to click create here. Inside of here, we are now inside of the builder, as you can see. And before we can actually start designing the email, there's a few things we need to add to the chat. For example, we need to describe the email, but I've also created a small MD file right here that just gives Claude some more rules to follow when it's creating the email. You don't have to do this, but in my experience, it makes the result a little bit better. If you want this email and the prompt template I've created to create your emails, you can just follow the link down below and then you can get both the MD file and the prompts I use throughout this video. So I'm just going to quickly add in my email rules right here. Then one thing I would also recommend is adding in a few examples of emails you created in the past. This can either be of your own emails, or it could be a reference email of something you like. So I've just added in some few examples of different emails here. And then all I have to do is actually just paste in my prompt. So the prompt is, I want to create an email for Grooms, follow the brand design system closely for all visuals. For building the email, follow the email design rule.md file I attached and use the past emails I've uploaded as reference for our style and voice. And then here I just quickly describe that I want a Valentine's Day promo email and what the offer is. Now I'm just going to click send, and then you can see Claude will quickly start building the email and all the files that we uploaded. As you can see on the screen here, Claude is actually done designing the email, and I think it looks pretty good. But there is always a few changes that you want to make, just because Claude doesn't know what you have in your mind. And this is actually the reason we chose to use Claude Design, because now we have the option to go in and make tweaks and edit directly inside of this view right here. The first thing is you can go in and then you can add comments up here if you click on that, and then you can select something like, for example, what could it be? It could be this image, and then it could be like, change this to another image, for example, and then you can just add it as a comment, and then you can see over here that it just get added into a queue. Another thing we can do is we can add tweaks, so we can actually go in and describe specific ideas that we want Claude to do overall for the email. That could be, we want it to have a different vibe or a different style. We can also go in and edit, so we can actually select a specific element. It could be, for example, the text right here, and then we can actually go in and edit it. I think it looks a little better here. I'm going to remove this M dash so my customers doesn't think that I'm using AI, and then this is all good. Then of course we have this markup feature here where we can select an element like here, and then we can add comments to this specific element. So in my case, I could be like, remove this section, and then add as a comment. When you do that, you can see all of them is over here, and then you can just click all the things you need Claude to do and click send to Claude. You can also add more notes, or if you changed your mind, you can just click resolve right here, and then the note disappears. So I'm just going to quickly look through here. Is there anything I want to change? I actually want to make sure that the image here doesn't have this like weird spacing right here. So I'm gonna say, make sure the image fits the full section, remove the spacing in the top. So I'm gonna add that as a comment. I think the rest looks pretty good. Of course, there is something about the font. This font doesn't match Groon's own font, simply because I don't have access to that. So I'm just gonna resolve this one. I'm gonna click here, and then I'm gonna send this to Claude. Claude, you can see here, actually now gets the section that I asked it to with my comments right here. And Claude will now go in and then edit this section. And as you can see here, Claude has now made the changes and the top spacing is gone. So that is how you edit your emails. All we have to do now is actually just download this email and then import it into Figma. The way we're going to export it is you're going to, up in the top corner here, you're going to click share, then you're going to click export, and then you're going to click here that says standalone HTML. We're then going to download this, and then you can see over here, Claude will quickly just package it up and then give you a file that you can then download. Now that we have downloaded our standalone HTML of the email we designed inside of Claude, we actually have two options to upload this to our email marketing platform. The first one I'm going to show you now, which is actually importing into Figma and then slicing it and then uploading it as images. The second option is actually just uploading the standalone HTML. But one thing to keep in mind when you upload it is all the images you also need to upload, and then change the images inside of the emails to match the image URL of the images inside of your email marketing platform. But as you can see on the screen here, I have already opened Figma. So all I'm going to do here to actually turn my HTML into something I can use in Figma is I'm going to click down here. And then I'm going to use this plugin called HTML to Design. So you can just search for this inside of the plugins right here. When you've done that, you want to click on Files. Then you're going to click on Browse. And then all you have to do is just select the standalone HTML and then click Proceed. And this will then turn your HTML into a Figma file that you then can edit in directly inside of this design. So I'm going to click OK. As you can see, I've already uploaded it here, but we're just going to quickly show you how to do it. So it comes in these frames. I want to take them out of that frame. So I'm just going to take this and select it out here. And then I'm going to delete these. I'm just going to delete them here. Then over here, you can now see that we have the full email and we can actually go in and edit everything. So everything is ready to edit. So if we want to change an image, change some text or whatever, we can do that. Or if we want to add something, we can also do that. All we have to do now is actually slice this image into multiple images that we then can upload. So I'm just going to click S or select the slice tool down here. Then you're just going to mark each section of the email. When you're slicing the email like this, one thing to keep in mind is to make sure that the length of the slice is never more than 1000 pixels. And you also want to make sure that you cut it off every time you want to change the URL. So when they click the button or the image, then if you want it to go to different places, you need to slice it. So for example, I'm going to make a slice here. So if they click the logo, it goes to the home page. That's why I have this slice. And then I have this second slice in case they are going to click here. Then I probably want to send them to the product page. When you have done that, all you have to do is over here in layers, you're just going to select all your slices. Then you're going to click on export, turn this into 2x. So we're just going to do that and then export the 2 layers. When you have downloaded all the slices you created, you want to make sure that you compress the images. We want the images to be as small as possible to make sure that we don't hurt deliverability. So now that I've already done that over here, I've already created all the slices that I want for this email over here. Then I'm just going to go into my preferred email platform and show you how to upload them. I am now inside of my Drip demo account. The Drip is a email marketing platform just like Klaviyo, just a bit cheaper, but have a lot of the same functionality. So to upload my email, all I have to do is just click campaigns, single email here. Then I'm going to click create. I'm going to use the visual builder right here. And then I'm just going to call this Gruns 2.0. And then I'm going to click create. Then down here, you want to select a template. I'm just going to click my templates right here. And then I'm just going to scroll down and select this one. Now that this template has been selected, I'm going to click edit. So I've already prepared a template here, but all you have to do when you're adding in your images, so let us just edit this section right here, is actually go in, upload all the slices as you can see I've done right here. Then you're going to select the first slice. It's already named that. Before you save this, you want to make sure that there's no padding. So you remove all the padding right here. And then you want to go in and add a URL to this. So this could just be gruns.co, for example, and then insert. So if they click here, they get sent to that URL. We then are done. So we're going to apply changes. We're then going to add in a image here. Going to do all the same things. We are first going to remove all the padding from this layout. So we're going to do like this, click done. And then we're just going to select slice to right here. And you're just going to repeat that until the full email has been added. As you can see on my screen, I have now added every single section right here. And all I have to do now is I can quickly just preview it to make sure that it looks good. It does, and I can also preview the phone version, and that also looks good. So all I have to do now is actually just choose an audience, and then I can send this email out. If you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe and leave a comment down below with what you would like to see next. I've also created a video about how you can use Claude to actually create landing pages for you. You can see that by clicking right here.